it live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to session number 40 of the Explorers of Efera. It's great to have everybody here tonight. Coming at you live with my Shure microphone. I can't get it in frame. There it is. There it is right there. Sponsored by Shure. Just kidding. How about actually Shure sponsor us and buy all my players your wonderful microphones? Be great. Please. All right. Welcome to session 40, everybody. My name is Joe, and we're happy to have you here at Roll with Advantage and the Explorers of Efera. As I said, session 40. As Mark said in the chat, that's a big number. Yes, it is a big number, especially for sessions of D&D. And I can tell all of these people here that they are all wonderful people, and I'm very happy that we've gotten the chance to play 40 sessions of D&D together. And I'm very excited for the next 40, and the next 40, and the next 40. A la SpongeBob. So, I think before we jump in with the intro, there are a few things that we need to take care of first. And that first thing is thanking all of our beautiful artists. Maybe. There we go. Lisa, Gemma, Andy, and PT Dat for the hard work that they do for the show. They're all very, very talented people. I recommend you go check out their Instagrams because they deserve it. So yeah, check them out. Get commissions from them if you want. I recommend it. I love all their art styles, and they deserve some love. They do. Cyrus, y'all are the real cool. Yeah, this group is the cool senior class who's ready to leave and move on to college. Smoking in the bathroom. Yep, correct. Alrighty. So that is that. I do want to say, I forgot to say something at the Salamander Coast, or maybe I did, but I did just want to give a big thank you out to everybody who showed their support during the God of War charity stream for A Kid Again. We were able to raise $1,106 for A Kid Again. Those of you that weren't able to tune in, A Kid Again is a wonderful charity that provides adventures and vacations for families with children with life-threatening illnesses. And so we were able to raise that money for them and pay for 2 children, or 2.5 children, practically. No, actually, we were able to pay for 3 children for 1 year of adventure, 1 year of adventures. So we were able to make sure that 3 sick kids could be able to have a year's worth of adventures, all because we played a video game, and that's very cool. And we have another charity stream coming up in the future. That'll be sometime in the summertime. It needs a little bit more planning and a little bit more coordination, but once it gets off the ground and we have everything straightened out, I'm very excited to announce it. But that'll be a mystery for now. So if you'd like to know what that is, I thoroughly recommend you go check out the Discord or follow us on Facebook, because we do a lot of announcements on there. Or just really join the Discord, because that's where most of the good information comes from anyway. And all the wonderful images of Jamie's cooking, because Cyrus here is a very, very talented chef. One that I fully... My brand. On top of being an influencer, he's also a great chef. So I think that's everything that I need to take care of that is work related. That is announcement related. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add, or do we just want to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Let's play D&D.
We want to play.
D&D. All right, let's roll the intro and get started. I'm cutting the intro short right now because I remade the intro, and it decided to not do the intro that I remade.
Okay.
There you go. This is the correct intro. It's still wrong. I'm so sorry, everybody. But I spent too much time on this new intro to not play it. This is the thing. Efera always gets the short end of the stick. And I'm so sorry, Efera. This is the correct intro. Alrighty, and we are
Love it.
back. What do you did not need to stop 3 times for that. Petty bitch. Wow.
And she's not wrong.
I am an artist, and I will have my art viewed by the world. Thank you very much. So, with that, before anybody else calls me any mean names, let's play some D&D. So, last we had left off, our intrepid group of wardens, the wardens of Efera, protectors of this land. Well, the journey to this current location, to this current spot in their path has been tumultuous, to say the least. After a absolutely terrible revolutionary war, fighting for the natives of Efera, for the people living on this continent, hoping to find some peace and solace, to not have to worry day in and day out about whether they would be taken and shackled and sold on the market like a piece of meat. Our wardens here did everything they could, and they have done everything they could possibly do over the past almost month in order to free these people and save them, fighting with them, trying to figure out what the best next step is. And now our adventurers, the wardens of Efera, find themselves in the final spot, the last breath before this revolution is over. In their final stop, the small village of All's Crossing, steadily growing, an example of natives and colonists living together peacefully and harmoniously. A spot of hope for the party, as it always has been. This is the final stop before they go to New Efera, the capital of the New World, the gem of the New World, the final bastion of that last bit of hate and terror that has been enslaving the jungles and peoples of Efera. But before they go, there were a few conversations that needed to happen in the city of All's Crossing. One of those conversations having the most weight being the confrontation of Cyrus and, as it was revealed last session, his real father, Emeriel. Emeriel explaining to Cyrus the nature of his existence and the mistake that he made, saying that Cyrus was his son and he has a mother that is still alive, but in order to make Cyrus a better sorcerer, a more powerful sorcerer who could take over for Emeriel, who could fill Emeriel's place, he did something that was a mistake, and that mistake turned Cyrus into a tiefling, and Emeriel told Cyrus that that was something that in that moment he was ashamed of, that he couldn't stand to look at. So he... Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh man. Thank you, Onion. Something that he couldn't stand with, something that he couldn't observe, that he couldn't be around, so he sent Cyrus away. And something now that he regrets and that he wants to attune for. But sadly, it seems as though Cyrus, at least in that current moment, wanted nothing to do with him. So Emeriel and his protector, Sigrun, the large Jormungandri woman who Alec had some strange feelings for, they left. They departed from All's Crossing and told the party that they would be waiting for them outside of New Efera whenever they were ready. So, that is where we pick up. Right after Emeriel had left and the party had run in to the tavern to support Cyrus, give him some comforting words, and be as inconsiderate of his personal boundaries as family is. And they drank with him until eventually they all began to head to sleep. Now, that's where we're going to go ahead and pick up. But as I understand it, Varnest, you wanted to have a conversation. Did you want to do that the night before, or did you want to do that the morning of?
Probably the night before, to make sure that we have time before we need to, leave.
Okay, sure.
He doesn't know how long it's going to last.
Okay. So then, as it says on your nifty little time tracker right there, at about this point, I'd probably say it's maybe only 9 o'clock after the conversation with Emeril and a clock. Yes, exactly. Uh, sometimes the words escape me. Um, Alrighty. So, at about this moment, right, 9:15 in the evening, um, all of you drinking and trying to comforting Cyrus. Maybe at about that moment, all of you just begin to go your separate ways, ready to head to sleep, seeming that Cyrus is in a little bit more of a balanced place. So, all of you begin to head off into your separate ways, into your rooms. Um, and Varnest, who exactly are you looking for right now?
He's going to try and catch Alec when she's alone, which not sure how easy or difficult that will be, considering she's got a lot going on right now.
Well, Alec, as you're getting ready to head to bed, would you have any like nightly ritual or anything like that, like going to the temple maybe, or are you just heading straight to bed?
I think she would have at least visited the tree, and like spoken with Ko a few moments before she went to bed. But at this point, she would definitely be like
Mhm.
in her room.
Ko is staying in New Verdalka to try and help organize the natives there.
Okay, okay.
Kagan is the one who's with you, since he's definitely more of the
Oh, okay. Then
warborn
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Then for sure it would be Kagan. But
Okay.
she wouldn't be with him long because she knows what they have to do tomorrow, and she
Yeah.
wants to be very well rested for that. So yeah, by this point she's in her room.
Okay. All right. So gone up to her room. So Varnast, you would know that then, unless you wanted to try and catch her when she was at the temple, if that's what you want to do. But
Nah,
no,
I would wait. Nah, I would just
some,
go and knock on her door.
some PTSD there. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not the best place for this conversation. A little too close to home.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. So then, Alec, as you are in the tavern, getting ready for bed, doing what you need to do, you do hear a knock on your door.
Come in.
And Varnast will open the door and let himself in. Evening.
Hello.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
No. Just trying to clear my head before we leave in the morning.
Mm.
Kind of like waves the smoke out of the way.
Oh, that kind. Got it. He'll shut the door behind him and he'll walk over and he'll sit across from her. I assume she's sitting, or is she like standing?
She was like sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Just like right next to the bed.
He'll go and sit across from her, like a few feet away, but just enough that they can like look right at each other.
Is there something wrong? Do I need to grab my sword?
No, nothing like that. There's just some things that I wanted to discuss with you before we made our way to New Efera. I wanted to know what you were planning.
What do you mean planning? I thought we were all on the same page when we get
Well,
into town.
well, there's a few things I just believe we need to consider. I'm curious, should we capture, whether through force or whether they surrender, Duradine Dupree and the governor? Sorry, the Governado. Oh, what a stupid name. Anyways, what are your plans with them if we get them?
Well, I think the answer is very simple. My people are only going to want one thing, and if I'm being honest, it's what I want. We will take them to the center of town. We will show their faces to all of those that they've hurt, and we will take their heads. Then we will place those heads on different pikes. The victors, we will split their hearts and we will feast on them, and then we will take those heads back to New Verdalka and show everyone our victory, and that no one has to be afraid of these men anymore. I think that is only right.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Do they deserve any less?
No, absolutely not. But very frequently, people don't get what they deserve. With the Governado, I don't care what we do to him. He's not the one I'm worried about. I'm concerned about what will happen if we execute Duradine Dupree, especially in such a respectfully gruesome matter.
She's like looking at you confused.
Duradine Dupree has been in charge of this from the very beginning, but he is not the head of the Tarkarian Trading Company. While they're not here, those forces are still far out around the world. And right now, they're leaving us alone. If we lop off the head and feast on the hearts of one of their chief officers, it potentially invites more conflict to come back here and could completely reignite the war.
I say we let them come and we show them that we are a mighty people. If anything, this will show that we are not going to just willingly be enslaved and this is our land and they cannot just come and take it. And we will prove that. Varnas,
Been...
I'm no longer afraid of these outsiders. I am no longer afraid of people coming here and making these attempts. If they come, I will be ready. And my people will be ready. You will be ready. If we don't make a point now, what's to stop them from trying again?
You have to make the right point. Alec, how have we been winning this war?
We have been reclaiming what is ours. That is how we've been winning.
That's simplifying it. We were able to protect All's Crossing because we negotiated and we spoke and we showed ethos that it was a war not worth fighting for. We protected All's Crossing through the shedding of a few assassins' blood, and that was it. New Verdalka, you were able to convince the governor to turn against Agatha, and you were able to get him and his forces to join us. And now we march on New Efera with 3,000 strong because we did not give in to violence as the first and only course of measure. If when you've won, if the choice you make is to brutalize this man in order to send a message, you can't always control how people are going to perceive that message. If the Tarkarian Trading Company comes in full force, we still have a chance to lose.
I disagree. But what do you suppose we do instead?
We capture him. We keep him prisoner. We send out word to someone from the Tarkarian Trading Company. We tell them everything about what's happened, what he's done, and we offer an exchange. We return him as a show of good faith. But we make it clear that the Tarkarian Trading Company, whether they're led by Duradine Dupree or not, is never to return to Efera.
Varnas, what do these people know about faith? What do these people know about upholding words? They could lie, they have lied. We're just going to trust them.
You trusted Ethos and the governor. You have to trust people to do the right thing eventually.
These people only want one thing. And what they want is not theirs to have. I don't believe that they will stop fighting until they can. I don't know. I I don't think that this is the best decision. But I don't know if I am speaking from anger or what I think is best. If we send him back, he's not going back in one piece. I
I
had you
never.
know that.
Oh, trust me, Alec. I never said he was. He doesn't get to leave here unscathed. You have my word on that. But regardless, these are your people and your lands. They are not mine. I will not make the decision. I only wanted to present you the information. Whatever you choose, I'll stand by you.
I don't like it. But if we are to continue to win, I suppose I can make a compromise.
We still have a few days' ride before we reach New Efera. All I ask is that you think on it. You don't need to make a decision right now, and you don't need to promise me anything. You might change your mind the moment you see him. I will not hold you to anything. All I ask is think about it.
I tell you now with a clear mind that I will think on it. But you're right. If I see him, I truly cannot promise what will happen. But I do respect your words.
There's one other thing I needed to speak to you on.
Go on.
Before I begin, just know that I only do this because I would feel nothing but guilt if I at least didn't present you with this information and this knowledge. Again, whatever you choose to do, I will stand by you and I will tell no one else of this. But I had to be honest with you about the option. And you can see he seems much more nervous to talk to you about this than the last thing that he brought up.
She will offer you what she is smoking.
Yeah, why not? He'll take a drag and return it. My magic is limited, but it is powerful. I don't know for certain, but there may be a chance that I could make your father like he was.
I think the entire time she was making eye contact with you, but as soon as you say that, she just kind of looks away. Tharnast, I don't care what magic you have or how much power you or anyone else may possess. There is nothing that can return my father to who he once was. there is nothing. I heard the screams. I heard the torment. And my father was not the best of men. I am very aware. But he deserves to have his suffering ended. He would not want to return. Not after knowing what he's done. Not after knowing what his people think of him. There's nothing for him to come back to. And I will see to it that he is put to rest. He stays that way.
And that's what you want.
Yes. It's what I need to do. And I will not argue.
Then we will speak of this no more. I just... Forgive me, I know you probably didn't want to talk about this, but if someone could have brought my father back and they didn't tell me, I just don't think I ever would have forgiven them. And I don't want you to end up like me.
I am very thankful for your offer, and I appreciate your honesty. I really do. But I have to do this. Or I can never be the chief that I need to be. I know that you and maybe some of the others think that I am a child, and I am. I am still learning how to do all of this, but there are 1,000 people out there who are looking to me to be their leader, and leaders have to make extremely difficult choices. And I don't think that there is a harder choice I could make right now. But I have made my decision, and it is time for me to grow up. And I think this is the way. This is the only way.
Leaders often carry the burden of responsibility of their own. It is a heavy weight to bear. So let me ask you this. What do you need of me? What can I do to help?
As long as you can promise me that Organic, Cyrus, Sayla will all be safe, you clear me a path, and you let me handle what I have to do, that's all I can ask of you. And if I don't look as the leader should, just make sure no one can see me until after.
Varnast extends his arm out and just silently nods his head.
Alec is just gonna hug him instead.
Oh, okay. Sitting hug, one of those. Cool. He will easily return it. And hold it until she lets go.
Thank you, but we need to sleep.
Yes. I'll see you in the morning. Before I forget, I think we all need to talk just before we leave with the troops. There's something that I had a thought of. I wanted to ask Cyrus, but I didn't think today was the day for it.
Yeah. Probably best to wait till morning.
All right. Sleep well, Alec. And Varnast will get up and see himself out.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Varnast, you walk yourself out of the room, shutting the door behind you. And then, with that, all of the party members head to sleep.
Real quick,
Yes. Yes, please.
while we were hanging with Cyrus and stuff, Morgonix wouldn't have been drinking, but could she have been potion brewing?
Oh, yes,
This
please.
is possibly her last chance to get a couple in. Just a couple graders.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, we'll say since you have the time, to take. Well, you know what? Why don't you just for funsies? Why don't you make a
Yeah.
couple of make 2 alchemy tools checks?
All right, I don't know where that is on our new tabletop. Do I just click alchemies? No, that's not gonna work. That doesn't work.
Let me check here. PCs. Morganix.
I'm looking through my stuffs.
Tool
Can't believe I haven't. It's been forever since I've rolled one of these.
I know. Oh, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it doesn't actually. It's not like a thing in there. Oh, wait a second. I think maybe if we go to equipment, maybe.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. I got time to shove my face with pizza.
Yeah, thanks to Ryan.
and-
I finished my dinner.
Oh, here. Why don't we just do this? Because alchemy tools, because you're proficient in them. So why don't you just make a? Let's just have you make a religion check. Yeah, because that's what
a
the.
religion. Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, what the shit?
Oh, wait a second. No, it would be wisdom, not. Oh, okay.
Too late. All right, hold on. Wisdom.
Well, you'd be proficient in it, so I'm just trying to find a wisdom skill that you have proficiency in.
Well, we can just roll a d20 and add 6.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
Oh, insight. That's
Aha, there we go.
a
All right.
+6.
Okay. Here's what we'll do. We'll just say that both of these are the rolls, and we just need to add one more to the top one. There you go. So 17, 15. Okay. So the second one that you make is just a regular greater healing potion. So 44 plus 4. But in the second one that you make, or in the first one that you make, as you're sort of brewing it, you have an idea. There is this one herb that, well, you're not sure if it'll work the way that you want it to, but, you only have tonight before anything else happens. And as you are sort of grinding everything together and refining it, you realize that you have made a very effective greater healing potion that heals 66 plus 6, as opposed to just 44 plus 4.
Jeez.
Oh, damn.
Mm.
Okay, I will give the one to Sayla, and I will keep that special one since my HP is so low.
Okay.
You said that was 66 plus 6?
Yes, 66
Did I
plus
hear
6.
that right?
Yeah, 66 plus 6.
Jeebus. Okay.
Yeah, you got some skills, girl.
Okay, and then I will give Sayla a greater.
Okay, here. And then I can go ahead and add that to your inventory. Since
And I
it's a little
think
bit
now
special.
everyone has at least one potion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yup.
Cool.
Girl. All right. And then let's see, where is it at? DDB items. Here we go. Potion. Let me just add these to your thing real
I
quick.
added the one to mine.
Oh, you did. All right, cool. And then
Yeah, I don't need to worry about that.
Okay, and then Sayla, I'll add the one to yours. Consumables, greater health potion. Boop. All right, there you go. It is now in your character sheet.
Thank you.
Not a problem. All right,
Just don't know that I'm gonna have another chance, so I had to get those in.
of course.
Good call. Good call.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that, all of you head to sleep, and then eventually, dawn comes, 7 a.m. As you wake up in the morning, it is definitely a traditional balmy Efera day with a just let me just pull it up because I know for Jamie's sake I gotta make sure that I don't exclude him at all. So as you're all sort of getting up in the morning, you can tell that it's definitely a bit of a warmer day in Efera, getting around to about 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius.
Ooh, yes, that's Alex
Ooh,
temp,
toasty,
baby.
thank
Yes,
you.
toasty. Luckily scattered clouds, but mostly clear. No rain today. Alrighty. So all of you wake up, the heat cracking into you, waking you up, making you definitely a little uncomfortable as you wake up, but start to pack your gear with your new health potion brewed, your very, very fancy liqueurs procured, and knowing that there is a very, very powerful sorcerer waiting for you whenever you arrive in New Efera. So with that, all of you gathering your supplies, gathering each other. Varnish, you had something you wanted to talk to the party about? Is all of you guys are probably outside of the tavern at this point. The soldiers and troops are getting everything organized and ready to go. Varnish, do you see everybody there?
I assume we're more or less being left well enough alone that we're not super worried about this conversation being overheard.
Oh, no, yeah. Everybody's really busy about getting supplies organized, and some of the soldiers who came with you are staying stationed in Ul's Crossing just in case something happens, but it's only 50 soldiers out of your, 1,000 that are traveling with you via land. It ain't no thing. So, yeah.
Cyrus,
Yes.
I had a question. It occurred to me last night, but given the events of yesterday, I didn't want to pile on, but I thought it was something that we should discuss before we left. Given recent revelations, do you think Emerald knows you wear the crown?
No. I'll be honest, darling. I didn't get a chance to bring that up, or the little purpley butterfly, firefly, chaosy shite. Or even the fact that I have those stone golems. No, I don't think he does.
And you have no idea what that even is, correct?
Of course I do.
All right,
No, I haven't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Perhaps we should ask one of your golem mates before we go. I mean, if they recognize you wear it, they must know what it actually is. Right?
Well, hold on, darling. I don't want to offend Frank, Barry, Terry, or Hank. I don't want any of them to think, oh shit, maybe he's not the person we think he is, and then they're like, oh, let's fuck this, I'm out. I couldn't offend the lads. And by that I mean I'm a little afraid to ask, I'm not going to lie.
Do you want me to do it?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm really not trying to step on your toes here, but after what happened with the deck and this recent revelation about Emerald, I just think that perhaps this is something we've let lie for too long.
I'll have you know, I'm very much in control of everything I do. As he is swigging on a bottle of wine like first thing in the morning.
Cyrus, perhaps you should go with Farnas in case they might have information you need to know.
I suppose. Allow me to get one for the road, and he like finishes the bottle and just throws it behind his back, regardless of where it lands.
Ow! Oh, who fucking threw that? Who the? And just sort of sees the group of you. Must have raining bottles. You see the soldiers go back to what they were doing.
Shit, do you think he thought that was? Do you think he thought it was me?
Nah, he has no clue.
I didn't think so either. And you just hear like Cyrus like reach into like the bag of holding, and it sounds like a fucking bottle bank, like a recycling plant.
Sweet lord.
Gets a bottle and spits out the cork. Right, let's do this shit.
Varnas kind of like pats your shoulder, and then we'll start walking towards the entrance that's closer to New Efera. So the way they're going to go anyway.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you can already see the bridge has been repaired in the time that you guys have been gone enough so that soldiers can cross regardless of how heavy the cart or knights in armor might be. But you make your way towards that front gate, and you can see those two stone golems still standing resolute, looking out and away. And as soon as Cyrus approaches, you can see the different cracks and veins that almost look like ore that needs to be harvested begins to glow, that sort of deep thrumming, chaotic energy from red to green to blue to purple, back to red and yellow, and sort of cycling through that chromatic colors as Cyrus approaches. And as soon as the two of you are sort of about face to them, their heads just turn to face Cyrus, looking down at him.
Hello, lads. My friend here has a question that, of course, we know the answer to, but he would like to ask you, and I think we should tell him.
Just sort of looking back and forth between the two of you.
Did you want to stay here? Or did you want to walk away?
No, I'm good.
All right. Which one am I talking to? Is this Frank or Tank?
Frank and Hank.
Frank and Hank. Okay. Hello, gents. Frank, Hank.
I don't know if that's their actual name. I've just been calling them that. Probably should have mentioned that before you said it.
That would have helped. Yes. All right. Anyways, gentlemen, what is the Crown of Chaos?
The crown is... It is a connection. This person, Cyrus, as we have come to understand, they bear a strong strength to the weave and to the chaos that weaves it. This crown allows him to push and pull and repair tears in the weave, but any snip or tear he makes is all the more dangerous.
As you can hear each word sounding like the grinding of stone on stone, echoing out of a small cave.
Interesting. Okay. So, it's kind of a literal thing, but also just it's a symbol of your connection to the weave. Is kind of what I gathered. Is that about right, Cyrus? Since you know what this thing is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When we were created, it was said that they who wears the crown of chaos can imbue that chaos into others. They can create others like them.
When you say make others like them, could you elaborate on that?
They can teach others the same way to push and pull the weave.
Thornast very uncomfortably looks at Cyrus. You gathering from that what I'm gathering?
Yes. Let's go with yes.
Do I believe you?
No.
Alright, cool.
You don't even need to roll insight. You do not believe me.
I kinda didn't think so, but have you met any others who have worn the crown of chaos?
There was another long ago. One who came to this place, who received the blessing and then left.
What was their name?
We received no name, only that they came searching for this power, and it is not our duty to determine who is worthy, and if they should possess it, only to give it if they are worthy.
Can multiple people wear the crown of chaos, or is it only one?
Only one.
Well, I think that's about everything I needed. You got anything, Cyrus?
No. Keep up the good work, lads.
As you command.
Their heads slowly cock back to place.
Well, that's concerning.
It is.
Potentially.
I mean, you don't want to do what I can do? And does like a little, like, spin on himself.
You know, I don't think I'd be a very good student for you, Cyrus. That's on me, though. It has nothing to do with you.
No, I mean, trust me, I'm not a good teacher. I turned Maya into a plant.
You did what?
Well, technically Maya turned Maya into a plant. I just didn't really make it any easier for her. It was pretty funny.
Like a plant, like a flower?
Yes, like like a potted plant. Like
Huh.
a little succulent plant in a pot.
Interesting. Well, glad she's all right in that way.
Yeah, she's fine.
Did you talk to her after she left? I saw her kind of storm out after you and Emerald were talking. Do you need to say anything to her?
Perhaps. I'll be honest, I don't remember all that much after last night. I don't recall going to bed.
Fair enough. Alright.
Chin-chin.
Alright, well. Obviously, we have a long day ahead of us, so if there's anything you feel you need to do before we leave, now's the time.
I'm sure everything is fine.
Then I guess we'll wait for the others to join us. If you're good, I'm good.
All right. Cool. So with that, all of you, at least the two of you wait outside the front gate, and eventually, I'd say probably come about 8, 9:30, around that time. All of the soldiers have been fully mobilized and are ready to head out. So with that, the rest of the party, unless Sayla, Alec, or Morganix, unless the three of you had anything else you wanted to do, is it ready? Time for departure?
Sayla has nothing. She has been preparing her weapons like a lot.
She's been sharpening so much they're almost not there anymore. Like it's just a thin blade now from how much she's been sharpening them.
The dagger's gone down to a nail.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight. Just kidding. But
That's exactly where my mind went.
Alec is
ah.
face painted up. She's ready.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Ready as we're gonna be.
All right. Cool. So
Sayla has attuned to friendship. She will heal
Hell
all
yeah.
of the people.
Yeah.
yeah. All righty. So with that, all of you make your way into the jungleless and treacherous terrain of Efera, away from from All's Crossing, and you begin to make your way. Now, when you first made this journey, it only took you about 2.5, 3 days to go from All's Crossing to New Efera. With the army, it takes you about 5, moving by land. Well, never mind. You have a lot of natives with you. That's the thing. So it probably
fast boys.
Yeah. It'd probably take you maybe 3.5. So you'd probably get there like at sunset on the 3rd day. So you're traveling for quite some time. So 3 days, not very much, not very comfortable or anything really good in that sense. So unless there's anything you guys need to do, we'll just kind of fast travel through it. Nobody's stopping an army in the middle of the street.
there's nothing I need to do.
Okay. Still carrying around Cyrus. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not very safe for me to be brewing potions in these conditions, so I'll just have to be happy with what I got.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, we get to midnight the next day, sunrise, midnight, sunrise, 2 days, 3rd day, sunrise. So on the 3rd day, eventually, once we get to dusk, right? That's about when you guys will get there after almost 3 full days of travel. It's when you begin to approach New Efera. And in all honesty, all of you remember your journey to New Efera the first time. After leaving All's Crossing, all of you, your bonds had been pulled closer together. After going through the Eferan path of peace, looking upon others' backgrounds, where they came from, the traumatic events that they went through, you came out of All's Crossing closer to one another and thought that you were ready to face on whatever was waiting for you in New Efera. Couldn't be that bad, right? But sadly it was. It was worse than anything you could have imagined. And luckily, due to all of your hard work and determination, it was all of you that has turned this place around. Whether it be discovering the next key to Nibiru and what treasures may lie in wait there, protecting that magical power, or saving the city of All's Crossing during that siege, debating and using your words to prevent an attack from ever happening, or stealthing and using more negotiation in New Verdalka. All of this has been achieved by you and couldn't have been possible without you. And now, because of your efforts and your actions, you arrive in New Efera. But when you approached the first time, it was towering, splendid walls with engravings and majesty. Truly a magnificent place. But now, as you approach, the gates are knocked off of their hinges, fallen flat onto the ground. And all you can see from behind those walls is just what seems like endless plumes of smoke rising up from the city, truly war-torn. As you approach, the sounds of the jungle fade, and this ruinous city comes into view. You can see that any of the grand stone buildings in this area completely toppled or destroyed. Small wooden shacks constructed, shanty houses, barely still standing, windows and doors boarded up. You can see barely any life on these cities at all as you begin to march through. Alec, one of the things that you notice almost immediately, and you can see that you and Kagan share the same look at the same time, looking towards where the native ghetto once stood, that is now just entirely ash. And the worst part is, none of the other buildings got any better treatment. Truly a place of beauty turned to dust. As you approach, Varnast, you and several other soldiers, being higher and in their perceptive abilities, notice that there are people watching you, whether it be from the cracks in stone or in the sort of shantily put together towers, peeking their heads out, looking at you, giving out shouting whispers to other people, spreading word of your arrival as you, marching at the helm of this massive army, you begin to march through, and as you enter and march for maybe 10, 15 minutes, taking in the destruction of the city, there is a robed figure who breaks out of the rubble. One man stands in the middle of the path. No horse, no weapons, no armor, just a humble robe. And you can see that man look up over the brim of his hood and pull the hood back, and you can see a man with dark complexion, a younger face, almost no hair on the top of his head, very, very strong facial features. And you can see him look across the front line, featuring all of you, Ethos, Ambrose, the governor, Ethos's captains, Ulf, Ironwood, all of these people. And instead of looking towards any of the leaders of cities and armies, this man looks to you, Morganix. And you can see a smile come across his face. Morganix.
I walk to him.
Get off your horse. And he walks to you. And he immediately goes to hug you. And he says,
I'm so happy you found me.
and as he pulls back, you see him smile, and you know that there is absolutely no doubt in your mind that this is Galadar. So
I am a little tense, but I return the hug.
Mhm.
And just little teary-eyed.
Do not cry. This is a good day. A day where many wrongs will be corrected. A day that is happening because of you. Because of you and your friends.
he smiles and puts a hand on your cheek.
I'm proud of you, Morganix. I'm very proud of you.
And as he smiles at you, and you can feel this genuine sense of heart. That connection that the two of you shared, even though he's lost his divinity, isn't gone. It's still there. It's just different now. But as he stands there, the army comes to a halt, and whatever the horrors of New Efera are this time lie in front of you. And right there, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
Oh, it's probably like the fastest break of your life.
Yes. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, just real quick, just because 4 minute. This is just the best place to take a break, because I have a feeling that there's just not going to be a good time to stop after this moment.
Oh
Okay.
God, what does that mean?
Okay, go. Break
Okay.
time.
All right.
Break
Break time.
everyone.
We'll be back. All right. BRB. And we are back. Yes, that was the shortest break in Roll with Advantage history. There we go. So we're back. We're here to play, and let's roll the intro and let's just dive in. We are back. Okay. Picking up where we left off. Our wardens of Efera, after a few conversations in the small town of All's Crossing, they made their way over a 3-day journey to the jewel of the New World, at least as it once was, the city of New Efera. Now a desolate, ruinous place, more destroyed buildings than those fully constructed. While here, a reunion was had. This has been a journey of reunions ever since their victory in New Verdalca, whether it be the reunion of Alec, Kagan, and co., or the reunion of Cyrus and his now, as we know, father, Emeriel, or between Morganix and her angelic guide. Well, at one point in time, her angelic guide, Galadar. After a heartfelt moment of reunion, you can see him withdraw, and that's where we're going to jump right back in. He withdraws and looks towards the rest of the travelers with you, and you can see Ethos sort of speak up before anybody else does, and the older man, trimmed white mustache and beard, wearing his full plate armor, sword at his side, shield already on his arm, on his horse, says, "I hate to interrupt what seems like a very pleasant moment, but could we have a little bit of insight as to what exactly is happening? I assume you must be the leader of this rebellion here. As I said, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was expecting something a little more, you see." And Galadar just sort of looks over and says, "Yes, I understand what you mean. More. Well, please, follow me, and I will show you what this more is you're looking for." And he slowly turns and begins to walk. And as he's walking, he explains thusly. When I arrived here, many moons ago, this fight was on its last leg. The rebels here, those fighting for freedom, for the people of this wonderful place, they were losing, almost all dead. I came and I did what I could, and I helped them as best I could. But sadly, that war was almost lost for them. But luckily, and I'm not exactly sure why or how, but many of the soldiers that I assume were working for the Tarkirian Trading Company left, leaving only the Governado's soldiers, his guards.
Left where?
Away, I do not know.
Are you saying they are no longer on these lands at all?
That would be my assumption. Perhaps after hearing of the failure in All's Crossing, or even before then. I'm not exactly sure on the timeline.
No, they are all cowards, is what. And Allie kind of like stifles herself. Where is Durden Dupree?
I believe he has already left.
You let him leave.
We did not let anyone leave. But my resources were few. The leaders these people relied on had already been either executed or worse. I thought it best to reserve our strength, hold out until help could arrive, as opposed to risking everything over one man. I know this might be disappointing to you. Believe me, I am disappointed as well. But there was much hanging in the balance. And I am where I am because I relied on my impulses. So I figured best.
I thank you for that. My fear is my people and this man coming back with more of these cowards and these people. You can see that she's like trying so hard not to lose her temper.
This doesn't feel right.
I don't understand why someone would leave when they clearly had an upper hand. That's not how this works. That's not how any war tactics I've ever learned ever worked.
I do not know what to tell you. Perhaps he saw it as a bad investment, one he had sunk too much money in. What I do know, though, is the Governado, the man truly responsible for the killing and enslavement of not just Eferans, but people all around the world, is confined within his keep. And as we found, the walls have been impenetrable.
Take us there.
At about this point, as you're making your way through the city, as he's sort of guiding you, any of the natural thoroughfares or roads that were once there have been completely filled with rubble or ruinous large statues, anything that could be used to block paths, so larger units of soldiers couldn't be moved through. Eventually, you make your way through narrow passageways and tight alleyways, till eventually you arrive where the keep is, the wall that led in to the Governado's area. You can see that the walls themselves are coated in this almost like thin veneer, this shimmering dark purple energy. The gate, the walls, and you can almost, when you look up, although there is smoke and fog everywhere that causes you to cough every once in a while just from the toxicity in the air, but the shimmering of the light doesn't extend just to the walls, it extends past, up and over, seemingly keeping this area closed in, almost protected by some manner.
Have I ever read of anything like this?
Make a history check.
Oh, I do love history.
Hey.
Okay, 22. Yeah, I would say that there are things that you have heard of that are, they might be, protective magics, abjuration specifically, that you've known that have on a smaller scale, more though, to either keep areas locked or prevent people from entering, or making sure that if somebody does enter, that either some trap goes off or that people aren't able to hear it. But this is something on a much larger scale than what you've seen before.
Sure.
And it is very, very obviously some type of abjuration magic. And you're not exactly sure of the source or how it was accomplished, but like any magic, that it could very well be dispelled if caster is powerful enough to dispel said magic.
I communicate that to the immediate group.
Do you think this is Seven's work?
Seems like a fair guess to me. Where is Imariel?
Excellent question.
Well, he said he was meeting us here.
You want me to shoot him a message and let him know he's late?
I sort of side-eye Cyrus, but I'm kind of nodding slowly.
Yeah, but I suppose so.
I will cast Sending to Emerald.
Okay.
Emerald. The Governado is locked up in his keep. Magic prevents us from entering to end this. Where are you? Bro?
You pooping?
Okay. A few moments pass, and you do get a response.
Barrier prevents you from entering. I'll be there immediately.
And the message ends. And eventually, after maybe 10, 15 minutes, you can see him and Sigrun make their way through the rubble and eventually up through the columns and columns and columns of soldiers up to you.
And he says, I greatly apologize for the delay. I was investigating around the city. In the meantime, I thought that there would be more here, in all honesty. But, yes, well,
Can you get us through this wall?
And you can see he looks at that. You can see he looks up and around at the barrier. He places his hand on it. And there's no like immediate damage or anything to him. It just is a barrier.
Well, it seems as though the Governado didn't exactly trust me in the first place. This is something I had been working on. It was in a journal that I kept in my tower, but I suppose that copies must have been made. Yes, I can do something about this. At least glad to know that I'm here to stop this. Just give me a moment. I'll need to find the spot where the magic is weakest, and from there I'll be able to determine what to do.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Get a little-
It's weird.
I'm
Alec doesn't have time for bullshit today. She's already pissed, and this bumbling idiot, she ain't got time for this shit.
I'm also joining in on that.
Yes,
Go for
please.
it. Yeah, go for it.
I know.
God.
He was looking for something, all right, but I don't trust it.
I was just casually wandering around the city. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, I was just a little late. I just, kind of,
Just thought there were more important things to do than take care of the enemy leader. It's whatever.
The enemy leader that possibly got away.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, all of you, you can tell that he's not exactly in a as confident as you've encountered him before. But I mean, Morganix, more so what you gather is that he was obviously looking for something out there. You don't really have any idea what, but he just seems very uncomfortable. And
Well, join that fucking party.
uh,
Get together, boo. It's game day.
and you can see that he is constantly avoiding even looking in the direction of Cyrus.
Cry me a river.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Morganix is just gonna put herself near Cyrus and put a hand on his shoulder.
Sayla's gonna
She's-
go. She's gonna whisper, "I could still kill him if you want."
Pretty sure he can hear you, but no, thank you.
Offer stands, and she's gonna walk away and leave Morganix to do her thing.
Alec is like breathing down his neck, waiting for him to get the fucking wall down. She's not playing any games today. Like, Duradine being gone, she, like I said, is fighting so
The
hard to
Karen
control.
outside of Best Buy on Black Friday. Just let
Yeah.
her in.
The Duradine thing has set her off, but she's doing her best.
Morganix, you are moving towards Cyrus.
Yeah.
Easily able to approach him. He's
I'm
not
just
putting up a fight.
I'm just gonna be near him and just, I don't know, try to let him know I'm here from him without saying anything.
Okay. So, you all can see Emeriel. He takes a little bit of time to walk back and forth on this first section of the wall, sort of tapping on different places. And you can see eventually he stops, and there's one area where the ripple is a little bit larger than in some of the other ones. He says, here it is. You see, the way that it works is, well, I won't bore you with the details. Anyway, when setting up the runic patterns for this particular magic, if they're not spaced perfectly apart, there's typically a small gap where the magic isn't as strong. It seems as though some of my students are not as talented as others. And you can see him focus, and he's going to cast Dispel Magic. And let me just check something real quick. Whoa, that's not what I want. There we go.
While he's doing this, Alec would have very impatiently started like shouting orders for people, like having a front line to go in before they go in, and then having a back line to prevent anyone from coming out of the building. And
Gotcha.
we are going to be in the middle.
Got some meat shields.
Yep.
Jeebus.
Okay. Alrighty. So, with that, he's gonna cast Dispel Magic at 7th level, and with that, you can see he just places his hand and exhales, and you can see that his entire skin sort of changes from that golden yellow complexion to this like almost like burnt amethyst as he channels that magic in there. And with that, almost like glass, a small crack shatters in the first corner, and up and up and up until eventually the entire dome cracks and shatters, and the magic is dispelled. Gone. The dome removed, the magic keeping whatever was in there, is no longer preventing people from entering, and you can now see the smoke that was being sort of stopped from going in that direction now begins to fall over and slowly fall in behind the walls. So with that, make your way towards the gate and attempt to open it.
Alec will go. She made that shield, but she's actually going to be in the front line herself.
Okay. So,
Varnas is right by her side.
alrighty. So you open that gate, and you can see it's odd. As soon as you go to open it, like to pull, as it's a smaller gatehouse, you go to pull the wooden doors, and after a little bit of
It's a push
pulling,
door.
pulling and pushing, sort of shaking, eventually something does come loose, and you are able to, with the help of the other soldiers, able to pull one door and then the other open. And you can see that as you open it, there's no forward charge. There's nobody on the other side of the gate charging out at you. All you can see is that smoke, sort of, that has been falling over the walls and is now maybe 5-6 feet, creating this very, very thick line of fog.
Is the
Does this
fog
feel
moving
like a
towards
trap
us?
to anybody else?
Yes, badly.
Morganic said that out loud, by the way.
Magical trap.
Alex is gonna very angrily look at Emerald, and she's gonna say, "What is going on? This is not how battle works. Explain now."
What do you want me to explain? If I were to make any assumption as to what is happening right now, I would assume that perhaps Seven always thought he knew better than everyone, that he was the smartest person in the room. So I'm sure that he's thinking right now that you and your soldiers are blockheaded enough to open the gate and run directly in, charging towards the keep in this heroic fashion. And I'm sure that Seven, being who he is, there are probably traps and runic.
Then why have you been not stopping us this entire time? If you knew that this was waiting for us, why wait until now? Until you're questioned? This is not a game. This is very serious.
I know.
Whose side are you on?
Are you done yelling?
Alec is gonna walk right up into his face.
You can see Sigrun step in front of him, interposing herself between you and her, and says,
You don't want to try anything, girl. It won't end well for you. Sigrun, stop.
Alec?
Alec is not backing down. She's just standing there.
You can see Sigrun, she listens to Imariel and sidesteps.
Alec has a point. And Sayla's gonna kind of move up, kind of off to the side close by just in case. Because if Alec makes a move and the bodyguard steps in, she can always just come up behind him.
Can we not do this?
I just want to know. I just
I'm-
want to know what is going on.
I
And
mean,
really, if
perhaps-
you can help, please.
I can help. And I will.
I mean, guys, just a quick thing. If Seven apparently thinks he's cleverer than anyone else, why are we arguing in the middle of this fucking fog? I think that's probably not very wise.
I'm with Cyrus.
What's the plan?
Everyone just take a deep breath. Like, calm down. He might be shit, but please don't yell at him like that. No offense.
Morganix.
Hmm?
Can you use your glasses, see if that fog's more than what it appears to be?
I'm certain it is, but no problem.
Let's
I will
confirm.
put on the glasses.
Okay, you do. And the lenses come to life, and you can see that the fog isn't magical, and nothing on the ground is. Emeriel said that there might be some type of runic traps lying in wait there. But there's nothing on the ground. Nothing magical, at least.
Okay.
Cyrus was right. If If Seven did know that we were here, and heard that we were arguing, he would seize that moment.
Perhaps we shouldn't stand so close together.
And you can see Imriel just sort of look up and around and walk past you, Alec, towards the gate. You stop him?
No.
The closest structure now would be this tower, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like one of the basins of the walls, like connected to the gatehouse, yeah. Or do you mean like what type of structure do you mean?
Kind of like just like the main kind of like in the midst of this fog, like the actual like closest building we're near. Would that be like the actual tower itself or like a gatehouse?
No, it'd be a gatehouse. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cyrus is gonna like pull out his alcohol pointing compass and start following that.
Okay. So you can see as of right now, it's sort of spinning around for a little bit and then stops pointing towards the city, not into the keep.
Oh shit, worth a try.
And Imariel walks in the gatehouse and into the fog. And a few moments pass, and you can hear this gust of wind, this as eventually the smoke clears out in a large fashion from some type of wind magic clearing the area. And you stare in disbelief as the fog settles, or the smoke rises and dissipates. As you can see, all around on the ground are mangled body parts, ripped and torn to shreds. These are the Governado's soldiers. You recognize the armor, the crest, the symbol, the heraldry. Absolutely torn to pieces by animals, it seems.
Shit. Fuck. I'm gonna go after him. Sigrun, perhaps. Yes, let's go.
Yes, let's go.
And you can see
Alec
her,
is
with
right behind.
Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can see the governor also comes with you, and so does Ethos and Ulf. All of them sort of, and Annika, all of them dismounting and heading in with you, as long with maybe 15 or 20 soldiers sort of heading in with you. So you're a formidable force heading into this place. Galadar also coming with you.
I would have Kagan stay with
Yeah.
the group.
Yeah, Kagan and Ulf staying with the soldiers along with the captains of Ethos's retinue to try and make sure that everything stays organized there. Kagan and Ulf will ask all of you before you go,
Would you like them to fan out and search the city or stay here?
I'd say search the city. I don't trust this at all.
I agree.
No, I feel like something is past
Something's
us.
something's wrong. Something's very wrong.
very wrong.
Hey Joe.
Yeah.
While this conversation's going and like we're walking up, when I look at one of the mangled bodies,
Mm-hmm.
I know you described it like animals. Do I get any null vibes from these wounds?
Fingering that too.
Same.
Yeah, it's odd as you approach the bodies and just sort of take a curious glance. It is a combination of bite and tear marks and weapons, blades.
Do we all get that sense or just him?
Yeah, all of you have spent at least a little bit of time at one point or another in your adventures in Efera. You fought gnolls before, and you are very familiar with the way that they kill and dismember and revel in combat.
Since
Yeah.
since Varnas looked for it specifically, he'd look over Knowles.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense that they'd be here, but it makes sense.
Alec just grunts.
But how did they get in here?
I have a theory on that, but let's just go see.
Yeah.
You can see Imriel sort of furrow his brows, and Sigrun moving right next to him. He makes his way towards the keep, and he opens the doors to the Governado's mansion. And as soon as he opens them, there is this putrid smell that just funnels out. And for those of you who are not battle-hardened warriors, that you have seen the absolute gunk and shit of a battlefield in the aftermath of, are very, very close to vomiting just immediately.
Yep.
As it is just the rank smell of the dead that just cascades out of the doors. And you can see just piles and piles of dead stacked on top of each other. Some humanoid, I should say, some gnoll, some grotesque in between. Half gnoll, half humanoid. A monstrosity. And you can see at the very end of this sort of great hall what you assume was at one point in time the Governado. Practically crucified to the wall. Gnarled, rusted metal blades jammed in his body at different intervals. Hanging. And in this crude script that Morganix, because of your eyes of the Pact Keeper, or eyes of the Tome Keeper, you can understand, is written in this twisted native language. And it only says 3 words. He is coming.
I communicate that.
Well, Alec, you did want to have some fun with this one. They beat us to it, but at least he died screaming by the looks of it.
Looks like they tried to go back on their deal with the Knolls.
Yeah, Alec at this point is just too angry to speak.
How about we confirm that, though, and Varnas will start walking up towards where the Governado's body is.
Varnas, as you get maybe 5-10 feet away from the Governado's body,
Uh-oh.
what you don't anticipate is movement. Stepping on maybe a broken utensil, or kicking into a shield, something. Your armor creasing together at the wrong time. You can see by some grotesque miracle his body jerk as he just convulsing, barely alive, if you could call it that. A spike jammed through his throat, though, unable to make any other sound other than that retching, that.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Not
Can
what I
you
had
heal
planned.
him? We need to ask him.
Sure, here.
Do you
I'd
say
have
that
to.
out loud? Because Alec is on her way over there right now.
I do say that out loud because we need answers.
Okay. Alec,
She will slow her pace.
I need you. Oh, God, I'm gonna have to pull the spike out to heal him.
I'll pull, you heal.
Uh,
I mean, I can burn it closed.
that might just fully kill him. No offense. Yeah, you pull, and I'll try to heal the wound as it's exposed, so he doesn't just breathe out. Ugh.
I know
Okay.
Alice is our strongest. Maybe we should have her pull just to be safe. You don't want to cause even more damage by being slow about it.
Is Alec capable of that right now?
I'll pull it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Do I believe her?
Alec, are you telling the truth?
I'm gonna roll a dice.
Okay. And depending on what that dice roll is, you might need to make a deception check.
She fucking means it.
All right.
Oh, all right.
All right. Varnas gets his hand like
But
just
there
right.
is a split fucking second where she puts her hands on that spike and she makes eye contact with this piece of shit. But she will slowly pull it out.
And I will cast Cure Wounds at second level immediately as the spike is pulled out to try
Pulled
and
out.
seal the wound so it doesn't
This,
just bleed out.
yeah, this, and the worst part is the blood is like caked on, where it is like hardened, like crystalline gelatin almost as you pull it out, and
Oh.
as he's finally able to get air, and you cast Cure Wounds, and he
Slam the spike right next to where his head is. Alec's gonna look at everybody expectantly.
Give him a moment.
and you can see just the massive bags underneath his eyes, the scrapes and scratches and like bite marks out of his cheek, where by some type of magical nature he's still kept alive in a constant state of pain. And just is breathing, but isn't really reacting to all of you almost at all.
What happened?
He came.
Who?
The one with the eye of nightmares.
The what?
An eye of nightmares.
I kind of look to the group to see if that's ringing any bells for anyone.
Inoka?
Hmm.
Yeah, our friend that we trapped, I thought was trapped for like 6 months. Is he not trapped
That's kind of why I was hoping it was something else, because that's a problem.
anymore? Yeah, Alec is just, like I said, she's still, that was Caleb. Alec is seething, but she, like, now looks concerned seething.
It
Bear
was
me. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
the mage. He thought he could. He thought that he could make the gnolls subservient to him. He took
Wait. A warlock or a mage?
Was it 7?
It was 7. The student. Then there were 2 who arrived behind the barriers. Decrepit old men with magic unlike anything I've ever seen. They opened portals to the abyss itself, I swear. And there he emerged. He did this to me.
And you can see him try and move. And as he does, just that grinding sound of steel on bone from one of the spikes that's impaled through his forearm.
Still able to feel all of it.
And you can see now he starts to look around the room and sees Imriel.
You. That woman you care so deeply about. I don't care what it takes, but I will make her suffer every pain
I'm gonna
I
burn
have had.
You seem to be under a misconception here. We healed you, but you don't leave this place.
Not one more fucking word about my mother, or I will turn you to fucking ash.
Where's 7?
He was taken. He was
Where?
by the decrepit old man. They talked of a sea of sapphire, an amethyst. How there was something there that they needed. The blood of chaos.
I'm assuming that's Gemstone Archipelago lingo.
It makes sense to you, and that would be what that is.
Where's Logan Silverfoot?
Answer the question.
The abominations were left here. They were not taken by the one with the nightmare eye. He exists in the dungeons beneath the keep, along with the other abominations of 7. He kept saying, the darkness consumes. The animals will be fed. And his curse will be broken.
Alec just kind of looks between Varnast and Morganix.
Anyone else have any other questions?
No. Alec, put the fucking spike back where it belongs.
Yeah, Alec is gonna pull it out of the wall, and this time she's gonna put it right into his mouth and through the back of his head.
And you can see that gurgle and eventually last sort of death throw as that last exhale comes out and his body begins to jerk as rigor mortis begins to set in very quickly. And eventually he just is almost statuesque, impaled onto the wall, unmoving and unbending.
Cyrus will just kind of spit and be like, piece of shit.
I look over to Alec. Do you want me to come with you?
Gives you a very cold look. No. And she's immediately going to turn and go find some door to some dungeon.
Okay. So, Alec, you head off in that direction, and it's easy enough to find. You already have a pretty good natural sense of direction, but you pretty much just find any corridor that eventually leads you to a set of descending stairs, moving away from the more opulent areas of the keep until eventually they become more and more mundane, until eventually you find a staircase that descends down into what you could assume would be the dungeon. But before we go there, we're going to hop back to the rest of the party. And yeah, like I said, we'll come back to you, Alec.
Can
but-
Sayla Sneaky Beaky follow Alec because she's kind of concerned?
We can't just let this happen.
Make a stealth check, Sayla, and we'll see if Varnas notices you. Got to roll higher than a 23.
Please don't. Please don't roll high.
Just because you said it, it's going to happen now.
Uh,
It's going to be like a natural 20.
No. Why would you say that?
Oh.
Okay, Varnas, you see her.
Where are you going? Talking to Sayla.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I asked Joe if I got advantage because the cloak isn't dim in here.
I'd probably say at this point that Emeril has probably cast, at least now that that is over, probably daylight to illuminate the area.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right. Try again, Ryan.
What do you mean try again?
What did you say? Because I didn't hear you.
He just turned as he saw Sayla trying to go, and he was just like, "Where do you think you're going?"
Gonna follow and make sure she doesn't do anything stupid, because apparently I'm supposed to be some good person now.
The right thing to do in this case is to leave her be.
Is it?
That's debatable, because every time I have said something and I've done something dumb, you guys yell at me. But now when she's about to do something dumb, you guys are like on board.
What part of me and all of my
Well, not
objections
you.
look on board?
Not you, but him.
Culturally, this is what she needs to do for herself, her father, and her people.
Does that make it right, though?
We don't get a say in the matter.
What is this contradicting bullshit? She just looks super confused and annoyed at this point.
Morgonix will look at Cyrus. How do you feel about this?
I'm sorry. What?
Never mind.
There's not a way to save them, you know.
Emeril pipes up.
All the time that I was here, the Governado wanted a way to control them. I wasn't exactly in favor of that. I tried to find a way to fix them. I studied all manner of divine magics. Did everything I could. Knoll after knoll after knoll, trying to undo the damage that was done by Inogu or this one with the nightmare eye, or any of their shamans. I tried everything. In all honesty, if
You dip your toe into everything while committing to nothing. Who is your god for you to delve into divine magics? Varnast might be able to help.
Well then,
You seem to believe in nothing but yourself.
Enough.
that isn't true.
We don't need to do this right now.
Does anyone else? Cyrus isn't looking at Amariel, but he's still looking at the fucking dead governor, and he just said, "Does anyone else know about her except him?"
Sorry. What was your question again? I think it cut out a little bit for me.
Oh, Cyrus said Amariel. He's not looking at him. He's staring at the governor's corpse, and he just said, "Does anyone else know about her?"
I suppose. No. Anyone who would have known about it would have been here with the Governado. Unless he told Duradine about it, but I doubt that.
Good.
Did Annika come with us?
Yeah, she's with all of you. She's currently looking around the room for any signs of any type of necromancy or anything that might be creating, it might be spying on you, anything like that, through divination magic.
Annika.
Yes?
Can you scry on Duradine Dupree? We need to know if there's an ambush coming in.
Yes, I could. I met him a few times when he was in Nuverdalka. Just give me a moment. And you can see her, well, here, and she gestures towards you, Morganix, to sort of come near her. Here, this way, it won't just be me seeing, it'll be both of us seeing it.
As we do that, I'm going to try to subtly cast invisibility on Selah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll say make a sleight of hand check with advantage.
Oh, I'm so terrible at this. Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
fucking god!
yes! Yes!
My 23.
Oh my god.
My 23 is still higher.
No,
No, that's plus 10.
Yep, that's
plus
how I
10.
do natural 20s. Yeah.
Fuck! Forgot
Yep.
about that.
Yep, 31. Yeah. Damn.
Sweet.
So
what
as everybody's very focused on Annika and the governor and Imariel, Morganix, you're able to cast invisibility on Selah. And I'd probably say because of that, Selah, nobody would notice if you tried to slip away.
The moment she realizes she's invisible, she's gone, bitches.
Oh, what have I done?
Varnest, I'll let you know when you notice that she's gone, because you'll definitely notice that she's gone here in a little bit. But for right now, you haven't noticed yet. You don't know how she disappeared, but I guess we'll come to that when we can. So with that, Morganix, she takes your hands and she closes her eyes, and with that, you'll be able to see whatever she sees, provided the saving throw succeeds or fails, depending on what happens there. So let me just double check. Scry real quick. Scrying.
Such a good spell.
I know, it really is sort of the best spell in D&D.
I guess you didn't waste on that 20 then.
No, yeah.
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 Man, that's awesome. I'm so happy.
Okay.
Dude, me too.
Okay, so wisdom saving throw.
Kayla says nothing. She's plotting my death.
Nah, I love you.
Well, okay, so it'd be first-hand knowledge, not very much. Okay, so that means that I gotta make a DC wisdom saving throw from Duradine Dupree. Well, we'll see what happens here. DC.
How wise can he be?
I mean, he was wise enough to leave.
Okay. All right. So with that, you and her focus, sort of channeling into her magic as you are thinking. You can see this sort of cloudy apparition begin to form. At first, it's almost like looking at something through a foggy window. You can't exactly see one way or the other, but then eventually you start to see blue and brown and white, and you start to hear the crashing of
Oh.
waves on the side of a ship. And eventually what comes into view is a pudgy half-elf man, pointed ears, wearing very elaborate purples and golds, jewelry on each piece of his finger, large earrings that pull down his ears as he stands in a captain's quarter discussing something, and you can hear that man speak like a slippery seal as you see him. Duradine Dupree. And at first you see him speaking, and you can't exactly see the other people in the room immediately, but he says,
"This is what I want to happen. When we get to the archipelago, we will find what we seek, and then with the allies we still have, with your new acquaintances, and those still left in Dibrin Keep, regardless of what protects this Nibiru, we will have it, because it belongs to us. As I understand, the two of you spent a great deal of time searching for it, so it makes me very happy to hear that you've had a change in allegiance, regardless if that happens to be by force or not."
and eventually that apparition, that fogginess fades away as you see two individuals standing in this captain's quarters with them. You see two older men in their 50s or 60s, wearing tattered robes, one with a finely trimmed mustache and goatee, raggedy gray hair, one you recognize. Frederick, the warlock, Duncan's friend, alive and well, at least alive as he can be. You see another individual standing next to him. What at once was a fine-trimmed beard of a friendly old man, now a raggedy mess of matted knots, cold, unforgiving eyes. Duncan, a shell of the man he once was. Then a knock at the door to the captain's quarter. Duradine shouts out,
"Come in."
and approaching in, Morganix, you almost recoil from her hands as you see an animal of a man, missing an arm, wielding a great battle axe. The ox. You hear him speak.
"As I understand it, we should be arriving within the fortnight, perhaps sooner. Apparently there will be a welcoming party when you arrive. Port Sahala has missed you. At least that's what the ravens say."
You can see Duradine smile.
Good. As I have missed them. You two are in for quite a treat. Now go, make sure that our esteemed guest number 7, make sure that he is comfortable below deck. I'm sure he's thirsty, please. Salt water will do him nicely.
You can see Frederick and Douglas look to each other and nod and make their way out of the room. And just as they're leaving and Duradine is moving around the room, you get just a small glance past the door out onto the deck, and you can see her as well. The silence. And you also see what for a moment looks familiar, but it's different. It's a green-skinned half-orc, but you can see bits and pieces of flesh missing, a lower jaw completely removed, a chain around his neck being held by the silence. That's Brez. Somehow still alive, and apparently half devoured by the silence. And at about that point, the door shutting, and Duradine sitting at his desk, he begins writing something on a piece of parchment. And that about is where the scrying fades.
Oh, God.
That's not good.
We have to get there before they do.
Yes, that is true. That half-orc. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised seeing all of this, but how is he still...
I just look to the others, shell-shocked. They're going to the Gemstone Archipelago. Dupree in legions with the Knolls.
What? When?
They said they're maybe a fortnight away, if that.
Then we need to go.
We do. Duncan and Frederick are with him. And so are the
What?
Ox and the Silence. And I'm assuming the Weasel. And
Well, my mom's there, and I don't give a shit. We're going.
is there any way we can beat them there?
Yes, you can. Imariel speaks up. I haven't done right by any of you. I've tried, and especially you, Cyrus. I've never been good at committing. And I don't know if I ever will be, but I will do this for you. I have a friend in Port Sahala. They make sure that if anything were ever to happen to Penelope, that I would know. And they have a teleportation room there. It'll take me a few moments to gather the supplies, but there should hopefully be enough supplies in here and out in the city. But by nightfall, midnight, maybe the morning at the latest, I'll be able to get you there. And you'll have at least a few weeks' time on them.
Thank you.
Barnest?
Yeah.
She still has breath. I just thought you should know.
He just gives a nod, doesn't say anything.
Emeril, are you coming with us, or is it? Do you not have enough supplies?
I fear that if I came with you, it would do more harm than good with her. Plus, that girl, Cecily, I promised her I would train her, and she needs it. She is much like Maya, and I fear what would happen with her power if it were not put into check.
Well, be careful, because I still have many more conversations to yell at you and dislike you, so watch out.
Yes, and I fully intend on receiving the entire brunt of those yellings and arguments. I am very proud of you, Cyrus. And I am sorry. Sigan, we must go and find supplies. Please, let's go. And you can see him, breathing pretty heavy, make his way out of the keep. And you can see Ethos and the governor and Annika and the other 10, 15 soldiers that came in here with you, just sort of avoiding eye contact with Imariel as him and Sigurd leave. And
should we wait for Alec?
I was just about to ask, have I noticed Sayla's gone because she hasn't been chiming in on this at all?
Probably about when Imariel leaves, which has probably been, this entire exchange has been about 10, 15 minutes. So I'd probably say at about that point, you notice that Sayla's not here.
Yeah, Varnas, like, at first he's kind of like casually looking around, and then he's like quickly looking around. And like once he realizes she isn't here, he's just like, God, fuck! And he will immediately turn and start running in the direction Alec went.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Okay. Alrighty. Cyrus, you following as
What?
well?
I mean, Cyrus is literally doing the John Travolta gif of like, what's happening, and then just be like, I guess we're going this way.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. So, with that, I'm going to pause time here. So we're going to hop to Alec first, because there was a good 25, 30, maybe even 40 minutes of time before anybody even started to go after her. So, Alec, you eventually find the descent that you were looking for. And the thing that's odd is, you know you must be getting into lower dungeons. As you make your way down one level, you can see what seems to be just, might be holding cells for prisoners caught in the keep. And then you find another lair that seems to be a completely destroyed, ramshackled study or library of the sort. No salvage to be had, but that's not what you're looking for anyway. You make your way down 4 more flights of stairs, till eventually you start to get the smell of salt water and sewage mixed together. And you can start to hear different shouts and groans and chuckles. Maybe 10, 15. Just aimlessly wandering and shifting about the area. You don't see anything yet, but you can hear it very clearly. What do you do?
Is this area like free roaming? Like there's no way to lock things up? There's just something down here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like just getting down to the base of the stairs and smelling that water and hearing everything. Your dark vision does kick in, and you can see that there are cells where things might have been kept, but most of them have been broken open.
And there's nothing in them?
No.
Then
All
I
you
will
can
move
hear.
towards the sound.
Okay. So you begin to shuffle
And
quietly.
I have my sword drawn.
Okay. Moving towards wherever that sound is coming from. And eventually you round a few corners, walking for maybe 10, 15 minutes at this point. And you peek around a corner and you can see maybe 10 to 15 creatures. And you can see what might have been a guard or a warden of some kind, in a very similar fashion to the Governado, pinned to a wall with rusty shafts of iron. As you can see, these abominations, half humanoid, half gnoll like creatures, just moaning and groaning, some chuckling, trying to scrape at the wall in order to get this meal.
Are they locked away?
No, they're all free roam in this area. But you can see one that is away from the rest. As those sort of 10 or 15 are clawing into the wall trying to get their meal, you hear another one on the opposite end of the hall. You hear a thud into stone and the groaning of a man's voice. A voice that is an echo of one that you would know. The scratching of claws into stone, the slamming of fists. Every once in a while,
Alec must find Alec.
I will go to the sound.
Okay. So you round a corner, following the sound, and you can see maybe 10, 15 feet around one of the corners what at one point would have been a tall, muscular, elven man with auburn red hair is now an abomination of a gnoll. His chest and his left arm covered in auburn fur with patches of black. His other arm humanoid but deformed and writhing as if it was left to decompose and never gained life back. You can see one foot, this clumped mess of half paw, half foot, and the other one similarly decomposed as he's just hobbling into the wall.
Alec must find Alec.
Just takes a really deep breath and is trying to stop the tears from falling, but they are. And she just grabs with both hands, and she's just going to charge. And she's raging.
You rage, tears flowing down your face. You begin to run, and the footsteps begin to pick up, and that creature, once was your father, turns towards the sound.
Must find Alec.
And as soon as there is that moment of realization, the blade stabs through the chest of this deformed creature that is your father, as he and he sort of falls into the blade.
He's gonna keep pushing until the hilt is like flush up against his chest. And kind of slowly try to lay him down at the same time. I'm so sorry. I love you so much.
Must find Alec.
And she's just gonna drive it in.
And you can see the body go limp as one last, and that last gasp of air, as eventually his chest no longer rises and falls. As Logan Silverfoot is now no more.
Is going to take her, just a dagger and just cut across her palm and just draw the symbol of Astitia on his forehead. And she's just gonna say, "Good night, my father. Return to the mud. Mother Elowen welcomes you." And then she's just gonna sit there and cry.
Where am I?
I'd say at about this point, Alec, you're probably there for a good 5 or so minutes. And eventually, Sayla, you come bursting around a corner, invisible. You see the gnolls, like scratching into the wall, trying to crawl and climb to get that meal, but then you hear sobbing coming from around one corner. And as you dart around that corner, you can see exactly what I described, the deformed, decrepit Alec Silverfoot, or Logan Silverfoot, twisted up and mangled. But you can see Alec kneeling over his body, just sobbing onto his corpse. You're invisible. It's up to you what you do.
Well, she's not very good at this yet. So she's just gonna kind of walk over and play seen other people do. And I guess this would make her not invisible anymore.
Yeah. Interacting with an object, yeah.
Yep. So she's no longer invisible.
Alec is just too busy sobbing.
Yeah.
And she's just holding onto his body the entire time.
She's probably gonna settle down beside her and just keep her hand there.
Okay. You do that. And Alec, you recognize her presence until eventually maybe 10 minutes more pass. And Varnast, Morganix, and Cyrus, the same thing happens to you. You see the scratching, clawing of the other gnolls, and then you round the corner to the sobbing, and you can see Sayla sitting near Alec, hand on her, trying to comfort her as that mangled corpse of Logan sits there. And as Alec weeps. What do the three of you do?
I will go over and sit with Alec and Sayla. And just rub Alec's back.
Cyrus will do the same. He kind of just find his place and just put a hand on Alec's shoulder and just kind of sit with them.
Okay. So, all of you do so. And you all stay there with Alec for as long as she needs you. And Alec, you feel as though, even though Grandma Tala and Logan Silverfoot are no longer with you here, you look up and around the people surrounding you and you realize you still do have family. People that care for you. And they're willing to stay here as long as you need. So, how long does Alec need?
How long does Kayla need?
Mm-hmm.
I think the worst is in like the first 10 minutes. And then kind of feeling everyone else around her. I think there's like a flash of embarrassment and then a flash of anger again and then just comfort. And she's going to wipe her tears away. And she's going to gently lay his head down. She knows she can't take him.
Mm-hmm.
And without saying anything to anyone else, that heart thing that she got from that elemental.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna walk over to where the other ones were.
Okay.
And then I don't know how she ignites that, but she's gonna throw it down there.
It's as easy as cracking the two halves. The crystalline rock begins to fizzle with energy, and you toss it.
And she'll say the same thing before she tosses it, and she'll just say, "Good night, my brothers and sisters. Return to the mud. Mother Elowen welcomes you." And then just, like a football, just throw it down there.
Yeah, and all of them, as soon as it hits one of them and falls to the ground, they all sort of turn and look. And in that brief moment, eventually the elemental heart cracks and explodes with shrapnel of icy rock slamming out and slamming into all these creatures, and no saving throw necessary for all of them because they are all weak. Abominations unable to barely walk or defend themselves. And they just all fall onto the ground dead. Or truly dead, I should say.
She's just gonna walk back and not even look the direction where her father is. She's just gonna say to everybody, "It's time to leave this place." And she's gonna head up the stairs.
If Alec would let Cyrus, he would have asked. But it's fine if she's already like kind of walked off. But he would have said, "Do you want me to just basically torch this place?" But he would have said it in a nice way and say, "Do you want me to like?" In his own like terrible understanding of her traditions, he would have said, "Do you want me to return this place to the mud?"
Yeah, she would nod her head. She very much would like that.
Okay.
And Cyrus will just basically, as we're going, set like fires as we're leaving.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. Anything that is flammable in here, easily you can. As the flames begin to burn, and the corpses of the natives in here and Logan Silverfoot, they now return to the mud, and their ashes return to Illica as they're reunited with the natural forces that brought them into the world. With that, all of you make your way up the stairs and out into the main keep.
Sorry, just one quick thing before we
Yeah,
transition.
sure.
Varnas would be like pulling up the rear, and like before leaving, he'd look back to where he'd see like Logan's body burning, basically, and just very quietly, he'll just say, "I'll keep watching her," and then he would just turn and leave.
Okay. So with that, all of you then make your way back up to the keep. And you can see that as soon as you make your way back, everybody has seemingly left the keep except for Kagan. As soon as he sees Alec, he shares a brief nod with you and stands up and makes his way over towards you. And he says no words. He puts his fist to his chest, and he gives you a bow. Not just a head nod, but a bow. One of a chief. Not of the daughter of a chief, but of a true chief.
He will very shakily return the fist to her chest. I think at this point, like, her eyes are just bloodshot, but she's forcing herself to not cry anymore.
Okay. Stealing your resolve. You return it. And the only thing he does say is,
If you need anything, I will be here for you.
He just nods.
and he'll turn and leave out of the keep. Is there anything else any of you would like to do in the keep, or are you heading out?
I mean, I assume we catch Alec up on what happened because she kind of missed a few bombshells while she was gone.
Yeah, we don't have to do that in the burning keep.
No,
though. We
not
can do
right
it
now.
outside.
No, yeah, I'm just saying out of character, like, yo, heads up. Just before it's like, okay, let's go
Yeah,
to Star Cabal. Go. Wait,
Guess
what?
where we're going? Road trip.
Road trip. So I know you've had a rough day, but
Oh man. Alrighty. So you will make your way out of the keep as you can see that smoke slowly begins to move up the stairs, enveloping most of the area, burning this place down, rightfully so. So you make your way back out into the ruins of New Efera, and you can see that there is some soldiers have begun to set up camp outside of the gates of the keep of New Efera, and you can even see from this overlook, you can see some of the dock areas below, and you can see that the ships have just arrived and are beginning to undock. Soldiers coming off, supplies, everything. And you can see that also from this elevated position, some of the soldiers that are here, now that there's not an immediate threat of any kind, at least as far as they know, they have tried their best to clear some of the debris to make it so a sense of normalcy can be returned sometime soon. No idea when that's going to be, but soldiers are working to restore the normalcy. So with that, is there anything that all of you would like to do, or are you just sort of waiting on Imariel?
I need to go find Galadar.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. You pretty much find the area wherever the sort of movers and shakers are, and Galadar being the one who knows the most. He is talking to all of them, explaining the situation, and as you approach, you can hear him say,
Well, for the past week, 2 weeks almost, it became less about fighting back and more about survival. Trying to make sure that we were making the right choices and making sure the people who lived here could survive still.
and you can see as he approaches, or as you approach,
He says, but that is generally the gist of it. If there's anything else, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions, but now I have other things I need to attend to. If you'll excuse me.
and he gives a small nod. And most of the other people, the old governor of New Verdalca, go ahead and show this again. The governor of New Verdalca, Annika, Ulf, Ethos, all of them sort of talking back and forth. They give nods, and he makes his way over towards you. And he smiles, and then sort of sees the the energy you have about you. And
Yeah, read the room.
yeah, the smile sort of fades.
I sense a great sadness.
Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of questions and not a lot of time.
Yes. Well, I know a place that still has some peace to it. We can talk there.
I will nod.
And he takes you around the city, only walking about 10 minutes away from they are, to a small, what looks to be garden of some kind, that, while the edges of it are singed and burned from nearby fires, the interior of this small grove still has some natural beauty to it. You can see a few small benches there, and he just sort of looks around at what beauty is left in this sort of ruined city. It says,
There would be days when I would come here, when I felt as though I could afford the time. So,
And as they walked over, Morgonix just looked kind of both exhausted and disoriented, and just kind of coming to terms and slowly accepting that this voice that she's heard in her head since she was a little girl is there. It's very off balancing for her. She's just kind of reeling from it all, but she hasn't really had time to digest it with everything else.
yeah, for sure. So as you're sort of staring at him, a little confused and look of complexity on you, he just tries his best to give you a reassuring smile.
I'll do my best to answer whatever questions you may have, Morgonix.
When did you fall?
It was shortly before you arrived in that pirate cove.
Morgonix is just doing some mental math. So it wasn't. Did you tell me to trust her?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Did you know? Did you know you were going to fall?
No. When I told you to find that item, I didn't know what evil truly existed in it. It wasn't until you arrived in Nuvatolka that I had some semblance that this might be something more than you might be capable of handling. And by that point, it was too late.
Why did you fall?
Believe me, it was not my own choice. She has a way of I felt compelled to kneel to her. For some reason, and I still don't to this day understand why. But I did, and she reached inside of me, and she stole that divinity from me. And I fell. I felt like I was falling for an epoch, millennia, falling. I awoke in a grove near to your home. Only fitting that I fell literally where it all started. I was able to work a little and get a ship and come to this new world. By the time I was here, you were already on the wrong side of it, so I started after you. But then by the time I got to New Efera, you were gone. And I couldn't. As badly as I wanted to find you, there were so many people here who needed help. So I stayed to help them. And I cannot express in words how happy I was that you came to me.
I have spent so much time loving you and mourning you and cursing you and hating you for the path you set me on. I don't even know how I feel. I don't even know if I can trust you, but I want to.
And I want you to as well, but I also understand where these feelings would come from. I made a mistake, thinking that I don't know. Even divine creatures such as myself, sometimes we can have delusions of grandeur, not for our own hubris, but for those we oversee and protect. I knew that you were destined for something more than the life of a simple librarian.
But that was the life I wanted.
I know. Which is why you were perfect for exactly the opposite. Those who truly do rise to an occasion, to help those in need, to be that light in the dark. They don't want to be there. They're there because no one else would be, or because they had to rise to the occasion. My divinity gives me foresight. But even my foresight was blind to her.
I've done a lot of things since you left my head. I've done things that I hate. I've done things that I'm not proud of. I've tried to find my way in this life you set me in. I have done the best I can. And I have made allies. I've made family. I have to go help them now. But when I come back, I need you to help me destroy her. We need to restore you.
Yes. Yes. In fact, I know where. I at least have an idea as to where my divinity is.
Where?
Sim. There are black markets in Port Sahala, the Gemstone Archipelago. While I was making my way from Iverion to this place, I tried my best to find where it might be. And that was what I was able to collect.
Will it be a feather?
It should be, yes.
We restored the silver rose. I don't know if that's his real name. I can't imagine someone naming their child that, but I don't really know how planetar parentage works.
The silver rose.
He knew you. Do you know him?
There was one I knew who fell.
Also to Melcanthe.
Yes. I do know him.
He's trying to... I'm sorry.
His true name is Ezekiel. I always prefer to assume that whenever an old friend stops talking or stops communicating with me, I prefer to think that they had been slain fighting for good. But you said he's restored now?
Yes. He's going to help us against her. I have a connection to him now. Not like I did with you. But I can contact him once a day. He's trying to find out where her core is. And once we restore you, the two of you engage her in battle, and my friends and I destroy the core.
Yes. Well, he was definitely the warrior. That does seem to be the best plan. With Ezekiel and I together, we should stand a much better chance.
You still have your foresight.
Slightly. I receive less of clear visions, more of broken images. But in some aspects I can still see, yes.
I'm not prophesied to live very long at this point. I have a few months with her and 5 and some change with Inogu. The odds are stacked against me. I need all the help I can get.
And you will have it.
I have to destroy her. I have to stop her from doing this to anyone else. Not just what she did to me, but what she did to you and Ezekiel. And I don't even know how many others. But I have to help my friends too. I'm in too deep to this. I can't turn away from them.
And you said this wasn't a life for you. Yet you've made the right choice. Those who sit upon the thrones in Celestia, they will look kindly upon you, Morganix. That I can
I hope
promise
so,
you.
because she still might have my soul. So,
Well, this is a promise from me to you. Even if she has it now, it will not be something she keeps.
thank you. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm only afraid of going to that side while she still has it.
Rightfully so. But do not worry. Your friends are brave and strong and smart. And you set them on the right path. No matter what comes against you, you will overcome it. And with me and Ezekiel, that core will be destroyed. And no one will ever have to worry about her again.
I will just slowly hug him
And he'll hug you
and
back.
start to cry a lot of what I have kept in for a while now.
Just hold you. Squeezes tighter. Don't worry, Morganix. You will make it out of this. I made a promise to guide you and protect you. Regardless of my form, I will do just that. As he squeezes you tightly, you can feel a few droplets of water drop onto your head as well. As it seems as though he weeps as well for having abandoned you in the first place. As the two of you stand there in that grove, a spot of nature and beauty preserved, surrounded by nothing but darkness and disgust. You can see that no matter how much damage is done to the exterior, that it seems as though the core of something, even in a place like New Efera, can be preserved. As the two of you continue to stay there, embracing each other, you all know that either tonight or tomorrow morning, Imariel will be ready to teleport you to the Gemstone Archipelago. But that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Wow.
Woo!
Oh wait, it's 7.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
right. That would be fast.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
no wonder I'm over here getting sleepy.
Woo,
We're gonna go to the
man.
very Gemstar Archipelago. What? We
Yeah.
fucking vamping. Good luck. Yeah,
We're
never
gonna
mind.
get Grok's favorite for Kungama.
That's
Fakungama.
fucking right. Man. Guys, we did it.
Yeah.
I think this didn't happen the way I thought it would. So, yay? Question
I mean, I
I
thought we were
know,
gonna get
right?
fucking ambushed. Not gonna lie.
mark?
I think I would have preferred some combat to all of that.
Actually, broken instead. Oh man.
With an
Said we get to be
absolute
heartbroken.
depression as the Efera way.
Oh,
Yeah.
only the only way.
Par for the course.
I know. It's just,
Hey, that's fun.
it's like
We-
listen,
we-
if you guys want to play Monty Python and the Holy Grail, we can re-roll characters. That'll be the next
Sometimes.
campaign. There you go.
Sometimes.
Dude, I need a goofy character. Sayla's too serious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
man. Big
Lot of-
show.
Yeah, no, thank all of you for dealing with the depression week in, week out.
Dude, we've been at it for a while with the sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're about to go party in the tropics.
Yeah. About to
Yeah,
get some-
sure.
I am interested for the conversation when Alec is told she's gonna have to leave just Efera in general.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how that was going to come up.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
like fucking Mr. T getting on a plane.
Exactly. Oh, what an
Emotions.
obscurely accurate reference.
Drug her up, throw her through that circle, deal with it later.
Oh man. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for watching. It was a great session. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. A lot of fun. Like in a sad way, you know, like it's still good. It's still fun. I still had a good time.
Yes.
And I hope that all of you will tune in next week. I can promise you next week will be at least colorful. It won't be a gray and red palette like this entire session was. It'll be bright and colorful, and it'll be all you know, Polynesian flavored.
Oh, I love Polynesian sauce from.
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
exactly. It'll just be the color of Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A.
Once we get her there, can anyone else imagine Alec just seeing everything that's so different?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking wild. Like, yep, it's gonna be a time.
Yeah, well, I think initially it'll be kind of like, okay, so I've seen palm trees near the beach before. I've seen that. Okay, wait, so you're saying that this island that we're on is the size of New Verdalka, and all the rest of it is water?
Can I eat that? No? Okay, I'm gonna put it in my mouth anyway. She's gonna be like a freaking toddler. Like, she's not gonna know what the hell to do.
Oh man. Well, Gemstone
If you can get her
Archipelago.
there.
We'll be, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens next week. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Tune in next Friday to see what the hell happens here in the Gemstone Archipelago in Efera. Or tune in tomorrow for the Isles of Iverion, as they are currently gonna fix everything up in Raven Rock and then head off somewhere. Got to determine where they're gonna go. But tune in then, or next Tuesday for the Salamander Coast, or next Friday for the Explorers of Efera. A lot of D&D on this channel.
We gonna raid someone?
Oh yes, let's do that. Let's do it. So please hang around here while we find
Raid.
somebody to raid. Twitch.tv.
I just figured we hadn't done it in a while, so why not?
Yeah. All right. Dungeons and Durgans. You know what? Let's do something different. Let's find somebody who's got like one viewer.
Oh, that's so kind.
And let's just go down here. Somebody who's got like a sick ass setup. Yeah, like nobody. That person's drawing.
The music today was very on point, Joe.
Mhm.
Yes.
A little too on point.
Sayla just comes around the corner. She's like, "Ah, shit."
It was really sweet, but it was also so sad.
All these people have
It's literally the fucking San Andreas meme. Ah, shit, here we go again.
Oh god. All right. Okay. These people have like 3D models for their character. That's kind of fun. Winds of Asteria. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
I mean, by stocked up,
At least
he does
the
mean
voice acting today.
the
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
Oh, Joe. Never mind.
Okay.
Your voice actor was also good, right?
Thank
We totally pressed for you.
Bold of you to presume. All right. Bold Wolf Gaming Company. All right. Let's raid them. Raid.
They only have like one viewer?
Bold. Yeah, I think it's like 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bold Wolf Gaming Company. All right. Start raid. Okay, so please hang around. As this will probably, hopefully they'll enjoy the raid. Yeah, the voice acting. Ooh, yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. See you later. Bye.
Yay. Yeah. Lisa Ryan, I'm so sorry.